You're listening to the Luminate series on the Forward Faster podcast, providing bite-sized insights for entrepreneurs in the optics, photonics, and imaging sector.
Nobody likes to eat pesticides, and greenhouses are one way to get around that, but how do you make a greenhouse that is actually green? Hi, my name is Damon Diehl, and I am the Technology Program Manager at Luminate, which is an accelerator within the Next Core incubator. Joining me today is Henri de Lalande of the company Infrascreen, and we're going to be talking today about their technology for keeping greenhouses green. Henri, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, Damon. Well, I'm the CEO and co-founder of Infrascreen, company that's been running since 2019. And you said it very brightly. We are in the field of trying to make fruits and vegetables a bit greener for consumers and for the planet.
So, Henri, the first thing I do for all these interviews is I ask people, what is the problem you're solving and why is it important?
We are in the field of agriculture and we are in the field of fruits and vegetables. And so kind of what we're passionate about is that we want you to be able to buy products that are both good for your health and good for the planet. And so the thing is, those products, those vegetables, those fruits, they have to be grown inside high-tech greenhouses for that. But these high-tech greenhouses, they consume a lot of energy, which make them not so profitable and not so sustainable. And so our mission, what we are doing is that we are developing a material that helps them be more energy efficient, consume less energy, be more profitable and more sustainable.
Okay. And what are some ways that people are trying to solve that now in terms of the high cost of energy of greenhouses?
Well, the kind of two different approach. There are people that believe in the fact that high-tech greenhouses that use the sun are the natural solution for that. And there are people that believe that you have to get rid of the sun and to grow indoor in what is called vertical farms. And so I guess in a way, there is really those two approaches that compete in the market and that will, well, in a way, converge at some point.
It's interesting what you say about getting rid of the sun. I've never heard anybody say that in terms of agriculture before, getting rid of the sun. So you talked a little bit about it, vertical farms as one thing, but what are some of the technology you see changing as far as the industry of agriculture? What are some trends that you see there and things that you're hoping to leverage as an entrepreneur?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, when you deal with high-tech greenhouses, the first thing is to look at the P&L of a high-tech greenhouse. The cost is mainly manpower and energy. It's when you look at the OPEX basis, it's more than 60% combined on those two aspects. So there are really two things that are evolving in the high-tech greenhouses today, which is on the wide side, on the one hand, the automatization, the robotization of greenhouses. And the other hand, there is this energy problem that needs to be tackled. And the thing is, there are far more startups that are involved in bringing robots and automation to greenhouses rather than startups that focus on decreasing or increasing the energy efficiency. And that's what we're specialized on. And that's really kind of the two things that we see. And on top of that, you can add the fact that growing sustainably, which means emitting less CO2, is really a bigger concern for growers today. And so there's an increased pressure from the consumers, from the distributors, from the regulators, so that they decrease their carbon footprint.
It sounds, from what you're saying, is since you're affecting the screen, is what you're doing is actually complementary to what other people do, correct? If someone is doing these kind of robotics, what you can do, if you can do that at the same time, correct?
It is in a way, it's not necessary. We don't need them. But I mean, when you look at the way we see things, we see that high-tech greenhouses are evolving very quickly. They've always been evolving very quickly. You know, the typical yield for tomatoes in a high-tech greenhouse 70 years ago was 20 kilos. Now it's 70 to 80 kilos. There's a lot of technology that has been developed for high-tech greenhouses, and they are still evolving at the moment. So we are part of that. But I think eventually what it means is that it's going to be less and less costly and less costly for the planet to grow vegetables. And that's a good thing for everybody. It means that you'll eventually, if consumers, you'll decrease the price at which they buy the products, and the products will be more sustainable and better for our health.
So as an entrepreneur, I'm curious, what is some information that you've learned that you would like to pass on to someone else? What have you learned that you think that someone else should know before they start a business?
I guess actually the thing that really kind of is super important for us is trying to really focus on what's important. I kind of have learned to just like, in the morning, wake up, take my shower, and then every morning I try to ask myself, okay, what's important during my day? How is it fulfilling something that is important in the next 2, 3 months, 4 months? And trying to always re-question that all the time. Because I think I find it so easy to get, I'd say, disfocused, unfocused by all the noise that you have around you. And then you end up having lost 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And speed is really key to what you're trying to achieve as an entrepreneur.
Okay. Yeah. I like what you said about kind of recalibrating yourself every morning to make sure you're doing what's most important. So as someone who works with startups a lot, money is always what people want the most. But besides money, what is something else that you feel like you need in order to move your business forward?
Okay. I think there's something that I need more than money, which is talented people. It just saves you so much money that it's worth more than money. And the only thing that I guess we need, I've always needed it in business, is luck.
Yeah.
In a way, because this you can say whatever you want. You can plan. We keep planning, questioning, trying to understand if what we're doing is the right thing, why it matters, re-questioning things. But in the end, there's a part of it that you don't control, and so a bit of luck is always good.
Okay. Yeah, the luck is definitely something that you're not going to be able to buy. We have a lot of people who say that people is the second thing they need after money. That it's so hard.
I think it's the first. Honestly, yeah. I think it's the first.
Above money. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I do think because people that are talented, they help you move fast, which means that you're just going to save money and increase your runway. They help you secure customers. They help you eventually make your business successful. And maybe it's because I've a past as a person working in finance. So I guess in a way you will always secure money in a way or another, or it just means that your product's not good. Maybe you'll secure 1, 5, 10. But if you don't have the right people, nothing will happen.
That definitely makes sense. So I'm curious to know, how did you become where you are? What did you want to do when you were a kid?
Weirdly enough, I wanted to be a computer programmer. That's very weird for kids, but I was a bit of a geek or a nerd. And then I got lost along the way during high school and the university, and I went working in the finance industry. But I guess I was always a bit frustrated by that.
Frustrated by moving into the economic side? Okay.
Yeah. So my co-founder, who is the CTO, is always like, Henri, it's cool that you're getting interested into what we're doing technically, but you just don't need to. And I'm like, yeah, but just great. I'm just like, it's fascinating. So I'm actually very much fascinated by what we're trying to accomplish. I mean, not only as a business, which is my background, but also as a technical innovation. It's really something that fascinates me, but that overwhelms me as well, because it's definitely my co-founder who is the technical guy.
What did you study as an undergraduate then? Was it a technical undergraduate degree?
Not at all. I studied business and finance.
Okay. So you've been hardcore into this since you were 18. You committed early on. You were, well, a lot of people as entrepreneurs are technical, and then they realize later on that they that they have this skill for finance. And but yeah, it's definitely great to have finance people who are curious about the technology. So
actually, I should say that in Europe, I don't know if it's the same in the US, but in Europe, a lot of people that work in finance have technical backgrounds. Because actually studying science is a thing, like it gives you a mindset that can very much apply to business. And so it's not so hard to switch from having learned technical skills to learning how to, I don't know, compute a P&L or define a structured product. Whereas it's a bit harder to move from business studies to, I don't know, nanophotonics. It's really a bit harder.
Okay, but you're doing it, right? So that's good.
Yeah, which I mean, I'm not alone, so that's the way we do things. But we're very complementary with Benoit, my co-founder, and he's definitely the guy that's developing the technology, and I'm really just making sure that the business is running.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely, as a startup accelerator, we have a lot of people who come into the program who are technical first, who then have to learn a lot of business. So I would actually put you in the category of finding the right person. I would say that it was good for Infrascreen to find someone who is good at business early on, because it saves a whole lot of spinning your tires later on. Anyway, so that was interesting. You wanted to be a computer scientist when you grew up, and you have become a finance person instead. So I would like to fill in the blank for this statement. Entrepreneurs are
fun.
Fun,
I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I very much like what I'm doing, and the other guys in the crowd, they are just absolutely great people. And it's to me, it's the kind of person I want to have a drink with when I stop working. So I guess actually, I think all of this is just exciting more than fun. Exciting. Entrepreneurs are exciting, I believe.
Well, I like what you said about having a drink after work, because we can't do that yet. But I know that you guys are planning to visit, and that will be a lot of fun, because I agree. One of the best things with working with entrepreneurs is that the energy and the fun, and we pick people we like to hang out with. I mean, that's a big part of getting into an accelerator, is finding people that are fun to work with. So what is the craziest or most brilliant innovation that you have ever seen? Either practical, science fiction, just something that caught your fancy.
Oh, wow. It's a tough question. Right now, at the moment, I'm going to be absolutely not original at all. But right now, at the moment, I'm fascinated by what SpaceX is doing. I mean, it's just like seeing the future come to you, like become real. That's absolutely great. That being said, I'm using a computer, which is an incredible tool. It's fascinating innovation in itself. My smartphone, I mean, there are so many exciting innovations that we just use every day, and we just do not realize it. That's definitely, I'm a recent father, and that's definitely something I would like to transmit to my daughter, which is just do not just look at your cell phone like it's a cell phone. Just look at it through how much innovation, how much technology, how much intelligence there is in it. And when you start to understand, to grasp that, I think it's breathtaking. Just like your own smartphone is a breathtaking piece of innovation.
So you mentioned SpaceX, and actually when you think about the future of space exploration, greenhouses will probably be a big part of that as well. Do you have any thoughts about what that might have to look like?
It's actually there's a lot of things that are coming. I never thought about it, but it's a very good point. Well, the first thing is, we are moving towards what we call the closed greenhouse, which means we do not, we know, but it's not very effective how to close greenhouse today. But we know that the future is in really closing greenhouses so that you completely control what happens inside them. And obviously we'll need closed greenhouse in space. That's the first thing. So we'll need a bit of that technology we're developing today. And the other things is, what we're doing, which is selecting radiations that enter or leave the greenhouse. It's so relevant to having greenhouses in space because I'm not very much, I'm not a specialist, but I can assume that radiations in space are a bit different than what has been filtered by the atmosphere. And so we'll definitely need greenhouses where we filter what enters or leave the greenhouse, or at least what enters the greenhouse so that the crops can thrive.
I had never thought about that either, because you're definitely true. When you get above the atmosphere, you have cosmic rays. And you do have to think a lot about what radiation would do to food. And you guys are making something that helps block out different forms of radiation. Yeah.
Feel free to give my number to Elon.
I was literally going to say that. I have him on my cell phone, as it turns out. No, not really. So if you look forward, say, 5 years from now in the, let's say agriculture right now, if you look ahead in 5 years in terms of agriculture, what do you think that's going to look like?
So agriculture it's a very broad, very, very broad industry. So I'll just focus a bit on the fruits and vegetables. I think actually, what I was saying a bit earlier, which is I do think that the automation and the energy management will be here, will decrease the cost of operating these high-tech greenhouses. So you just have consumers will have better products that will be truly sustainable, that will be truly without pesticides and fungicides and herbicides, and that will be far cheaper. And so what we see coming, and we do believe in that, I don't know it will be called organic or not, because there's always a debate as to whether things are organic or not. But I do believe that the products that you are going to buy and eat in 5 years' time are going to be cheap, tasty, clean, and sustainable.
Those all sound good.
I hope so.
Yeah. So I really like your slides, actually. And one thing that you have focused on is that the real mission behind what you do is food. And I found that really interesting, that there's this issue of solving this radiation problem, but really your mission is food. Do you want to say about your vision there?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Because eventually everything that we're doing, what we're doing is we're helping the high-tech greenhouse industry be more profitable and more sustainable. But then the question is, why are we helping them? And we are helping them because they're actually the only way to grow without any kind of pesticides, herbicides, or fungicides. Because the only way to grow advanced varieties, weak varieties, not weak, but fragile varieties. The ones that your grandmother used to have in our garden, and that we no longer have because you cannot grow them massively without high-tech greenhouses. And what it means in the end, I'm like anybody. When I buy food for my daughter, for myself, I just want to make sure that I have a good product. And so eventually that's what we are doing, because we help our clients, and that our clients help their clients, which are the consumers.
Okay, so what I'd like to close here with is, in 10 words or less, what is some sort of inspiration you would like to give to our listeners and generally entrepreneurs specifically?
Have some fun. I feel like I'm incredibly lucky because I like what I'm doing, and so it's great to be an entrepreneur. So if you're not already an entrepreneur, become one.
That's something that can get lost sometimes with entrepreneurs, with all the work that people put in, is that it can become a bit of a grind. So yeah, keeping that vision of keeping things fun makes a lot of sense. Well, Henri, thank you. It has been fantastic talking to you. For our viewers, please like and subscribe to the Forward Faster podcast, and we'll see you again next time. Thank you.